Hi there. Today I want to talk about self-sabotage, self-criticism, inner critic, the voice in your head that tells you that you're not going to be able to do something, or the voice in your head that is negative or has like that's the negative part of your mind. I want to talk about that because I think it's very, very, very common, and it's a big issue for a lot of people, including me. And no matter how many times I have gone through this conversation in my head, I still fall into the mind traps of, hearing and like listening to that negative voice in my head. And again, that voice doesn't always like presents as a negative thing. I mean, it's just a voice that distracts you from your dreams, your goals, the ability to go through life with ease and happiness. So I want to talk about, first of all, where it's coming from, and then the ways to cope with it. At least the ones that I found helpful, and if you practice them on a regular basis, I believe that they can free your mind from the negative part. So first of all, where is it coming from? And I'm talking about my personal experience. I've been in therapy for 2 years. From what I've discovered in the therapy and my personal self-exploration of where those voices coming from, majority of them are coming from childhood, and those voices can be as much as like my mom's voice telling me that I can't do something, or my teacher's voices, like as if telling me like that I'm not good enough. And when I was little, I perceived them as authority figures, and I thought that they are the people that are telling me, like they are the source of the truth. And this is a very big mistake, obviously, because like those people didn't know me. They, like, even my mother, like she probably projected something on me, something that somebody told her when she was little. Like it's like a cycle, it's generational trauma. And obviously my mother never meant to cause trauma. It's just a natural cycle. I'm not mad at her or anything, it's just what it is. But for me, like becoming as an adult, I would hear those voices whenever I had to make an important decision, or like start believing in myself, or just adulting itself from the age of like 19, 20 up until, well, I'm 25 right now, and I feel like my adulting is still gonna continue for, I don't know, the rest of my life maybe. But like especially these like last 5 years have been very crucial, and a lot of the times when I had to make a decision, I would hear those voices, like those phrases that will like sabotage my real desire to like break free and do what I want to do and enjoy life and live with passion and love everyone and love myself. So to recap, I think the majority of the voices that you hear that sabotage your decisions, or like sabotage your self-esteem, or don't allow you to make the choices that you really want to make, are coming from childhood. Most of the times there are the people that were authority figures for you, or that were perceived as authority figures. It could be something as little as like a cashier in a store around your neighborhood. Like I've had those experiences where I thought those people, like they told me something when I was little and I believed in it, and then when I grew up, I'm like, oh, that wasn't the truth, right? And again, in the therapy, I've discovered that those beliefs were preventing me from moving forward in my life. So just think about, and also what's important here, the more you actually try and listen, and this is very, like, just pause here for a moment. What's very helpful, and if you ever, hear that voice, do not run away from that voice. Don't try to shut it up. Honestly, try to focus on that as much as possible and visualize that. Like, who is that person? What is the setting? Because the chances are it's going to bring you back to that situation where you heard it the first time. And the more you describe it, the more you relive it, And the more you understand that you are now not a little like girl or a boy, back in your childhood, you are an adult who's able to make the decisions, the easier it's going to be for you to cope with it. And now we're going to transition slowly to the coping part. So as I said a minute ago, like the more you visualize it, the easier it is going to be for you to understand who that person is and the situation is. And here comes a few handy solutions for you. So first of all, once you realize who that is and what the situation was about, there is a very high chance that you're going to feel more detached emotionally from it, because you will realize that whatever happened for you was in the past, and now you're living in the present and it doesn't exist anymore. Like that situation doesn't exist anymore, which means it has no influence upon you apart from you overthinking about it, or like you allowing your mind replay those moments and believe in those things. I know it might be a difficult process for some people, but for majority, again, like once you realize that that happened in the past, or that is just a plot of your imagination, that probably something never happened and you just heard it somewhere else, like anything, like it's in the past. You're now a different person. You're now a grown-up person. You don't have to be influenced by it. Like it's a separate thing from you. Like yourself is whole. Like you are good. You don't have to like believe in that story. That's one thing. Two, and if it's difficult for you to detach, I would suggest going even deeper in the situation itself, because might be a chance of even a deeper trauma, a deeper reason why you think about it. For example, I feel like some of the times I would think about, I don't know, like what my teachers told me in school, like I don't know, I feel like I just worked a lot through those, but let's say they told me that I was bad at math, and I would, as an adult, overthink that phrase of like, oh, I'm bad at math, I can't calculate, which then would transition into me thinking that I'm bad with money, thinking that I'm not able to calculate my money correctly, my finances, which then would transition into me being afraid of making money or earning money, which then would make me fear the money overall. So you can see the chain, and you might think like, oh, I'm thinking about that teacher that told me something, but in reality, it's just manifests into so many different aspects of your life that like it's deeper. It could go like even deeper and deeper and deeper, and like show up in different parts of your life. I hope that doesn't sound confusing, but I just want to encourage you to not being afraid of those voices, but rather look at them with a sense of curiosity and like, I don't know, interest of like, what does this tell me? Where is it coming from? Why is this playing over and over in my head? These are like more of a practical ways to cope with self-sabotaging thoughts. Also, obviously, it's great to question them, like, is this true for me right now? And it's great to do two more things. So first of all, meditation. And meditation is a practice on its own, and meditation just brings you to the present moment, to where you're at right now. It allows you to observe yourself, to observe the progress you've made over your last, like, I don't know how many years. Like, we are always constantly making a progress, and meditation just allows you to recap with, like, catch up with everything that has happened, and it brings you back to the present moment, and you kind of like, all those thoughts disappear, like they start fading away. Meditation is a practice, as I mentioned. It takes time before you even can sense the feeling of wholeness and oneness and peace, though I highly, highly, highly recommend. There are multiple ways to get to that meditative states. There are guided meditations, sound healing meditations, silent meditations, I don't know, yoga, through asanas, through postures, through breath, many different ways. Whatever works for you, try it. And you know what, honestly, I feel like meditative states could be found in like things like when you create art, or when you go on a long walk. Those also could be forms of meditations, but as long as you are detaching from all of the thoughts, really, from the noise in your head, and you can bring yourself to the present moment, that practice is also going to help you to like start detaching from those thoughts that are not productive or not making you move anywhere. And journaling is one of my favorite. I feel like the more I journal and the more I read what I wrote, like days later, like today, I went back to my journalings and I was like, wow, like so many insights. And I'm only going like a few months back, and I wish I mean, I've been journaling for a few years right now, but I've also traveled and I've left my journals back in different places around the world, which I'm hoping to return and like read them, and like, you know, return to them, to those places, and like get my journals back. But it's just such a powerful tool. Like, you reflect, like imagine you put your mind on the mirror, like everything that you're thinking about, and you reflect it, and then you kind of see very clearly of what is good, what is not working for you, what you might get rid of. Like, it's just very useful. I don't know, at the beginning it might seem, I don't know, for some people that haven't journaled ever, it might be stupid. You might not know what to write about. I encourage you to literally Google journaling prompts for self-esteem, journaling prompts for self-exploration, self-understanding. You're gonna find a ton. I usually start from "How are you?" question, and that uncovers quite a lot, because I'm working on myself. I'm working with myself, and whenever I sit down to journal, I really try to go deeper into what's bothering me, what's making me happy, what do I want to do, what's serving, what's not serving me, and try and clear up my life, because thoughts create your reality. So yeah, those are the things that help me personally to detach, to reconstruct those negative self-talk, negative thoughts, the voices that tell me things that I cannot do, something that I'm not good enough, that I'm not ever gonna make it, or the thoughts of fear, like what if, etc., etc. Those things. I hope this video was helpful. You're not alone if you're going through this. Just know that I feel like every single person struggles with it, and we should make it a norm, and we should be less judging but more supportive of the process of healing. I wish you a wonderful weekend. Bye.